Hey guys, we are back. Finally, we are back. I was on a trip. I went on a long trip that apparently only lasted 2 days. I was gone for 48 hours and it felt like a week. Seriously. I get back and it's like, I was only gone for 2 days? What? But I was away. I was in Mississauga. I had a couple MRIs that I had to go to, and they were after midnight MRIs. And so I stayed at a hotel. And so I ate some good food. And I'm not going to talk too much about it because I actually recorded a whole bunch of video footage while I was out there. However, it's still like vlog stuff. And so, but the majority of the video is basically just me, is me eating. So I don't know how interesting that's going to be, but I did eat a lot of good food, which was nice. I did a lot of walking and I got back today. So, so while I was out, I changed my Bandcamp photo. So, because I did this last night, I believe. And this is in my chair, obviously. But I was not here when I took this photo. This photo was apparently taken on April the 29th. And I took it for Bandcamp, but I didn't upload it for some reason. I don't know why. And then last night I was going through my phone and I saw this photo and I was like, hey, that's an okay photo of me. It's kind of funny because the look on my face, I'm looking to my right, and it has all my album, has all the music here. So it's like I'm freaked out by all the music. That's kind of funny. Though if you look at it on mobile, that doesn't really translate because the picture's in a different spot. All right. So we have a whole bunch of listens over the last couple days since I've been gone. So 2 days, over the last 2 days. So we got 12 listens, like 5 different albums that we have to talk about. So I've got a gigantic text file under my ugly face. And let's just see. And so I've got a lot of bullet points. So hopefully this isn't too much of a chore to listen to. It's probably going to be a long video. So change my Bandcamp photo. Yes. Okay. Oh, yeah. So like I said, I ate a lot and I'm afraid to weigh myself. I'm going to be weighing myself tomorrow morning and I'm worried that I'm going to be a little high, little on the high side because I was going down and I'm losing my progress. But what can you do, right? It was fun and I did walk a lot. So maybe that'll offset a little bit. All right, so I have, so there's a whole bunch of stuff here, and I have it organized in my text file. So we're going to start with the Implanted Perceptions stuff. That's this stuff down here. All right, so let's just click one of these. So we have Frightening Conclusions, Predetermined Scenarios, and Such a Disgrace. Jarring Phantoms is the first track on the album. We've already talked about that before, so we're not going to do it again. Oh yeah, there's also lyrics. I have to remember that. All right, so what songs? Frightening Conclusions. So IP40, I forget which one's first. So 45, 23, and 4. I checked this earlier. 45, 23, and 4. 45 is down here. 23, where the heck is here? And, okay. So we have 26, 27, and then 40. 3. All right. So we're just going to start at the beginning. We've talked about Implanted Perceptions before. This is a 48 song album. Each song is 40 seconds long or 39 seconds long. And this is a sequel to my Spatial Lacerations album. This is death metal / grindcore, I guess. Tech death / something. Okay, so I've already forgotten. 26, so IP23 is the first one, Predetermined Scenarios. All right, and so I did write something about this. All right, so we're going to first we're going to listen to the songs. And we do have some longer songs coming up. Normally I'd be eating popcorn, but these are short songs. I also don't want to eat popcorn because I ate a lot over the last couple of days. So I might not even eat popcorn. Okay. Oh, it switched songs already. Okay, let's go back to this. So the thing I wrote about this one, this track, it's got a lot of picking on like higher strings, and the pattern keeps changing. So it's not a constant pattern with which string you have to pick. It keeps changing. So when I was practicing this song, I could never play it perfectly because the pattern was. And I would have to memorize every single note, which sounds like that's what you would normally do. But oftentimes it's the same pattern. So you just have to memorize the pattern. And then you can change frets and all that sort of stuff as long as the pattern stays the same. But for this, the pattern keeps changing as well as the notes. And so you have to remember the specific pattern for each section as well, because sometimes it's this string instead of this string, and so it really it was hard to memorize. It's the picking on the higher strings. That sort of stuff. So that's what I wrote down for that one. So yeah, I rarely played it 100% properly. Obviously, for the album version, I played it perfectly because I used a take that I had played properly. But just trying to think, we're also going to be watching the live version of this song, and I'm assuming I didn't play it perfectly on that. All right, so I think it's number 4 is next, right? Such a Disgrace. Yeah, one thing about this song that I guess I have 2 criticisms. I mean, it wasn't. I didn't really criticize the previous song. It was just that I had trouble playing it properly. This one I do have a criticism though, and it's in my guitar tone, I guess. The problem is it's hard to make out the notes when I'm playing the notes on guitar, because all of the notes are just ringing out. And so they're all playing at the same time. And it's hard to distinguish one note from the other because of all the distortion. I don't know if that's just my guitar tone. I don't know if it's the pickups, if it'll get better if I got new different pickups. I'm not sure. But it's hard to, like, you can't really, like, even me, I wrote the song. I know how it goes, but I guess for, like, someone who didn't know how it goes, you're sort of missing out on each note. So that's one thing I don't like about this song. This song didn't really translate very well with my guitar tone, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, now we're going down to frightening conclusions, I think. Is that true? Frightening. Yeah. Okay. So before I start this song, so there's like there's a grouping of songs here. So you can see like the IP number, that is the production number. So the order I wrote the songs in. Whereas they're sort of all over the place because I picked and choose the track list depending on how I wanted the track list to appear, depending on how much I like the songs, depending on how they fit with other songs, like similarities they had with other songs that I wanted to group together. But you get down to this grouping of songs for 42 down to 45, and you can see they're all sequential. So we got IP 44, 45, 46, 47. And so that is because for this grouping of songs, they were already grouped together. So with the other songs, I sort of just wrote a song I wanted to write, and it may have been different than the previous one. They didn't necessarily have things in common with the previous song. But for these four, they had the same premise, basically, the same philosophy. So for these songs, I tried to do more of a stream of consciousness type of songwriting where the riffs constantly change in all the songs. But for this one, the riffs constantly change, and they don't really, I didn't want to think about riffs that had already happened in the song. So normally when I'm writing the song, but the beginning of the song, for example, is still in my head, and I will try to incorporate parts from the beginning into later sections of the song to tie it all together, right? That's what people normally do with music. But for this, I was more of a stream of consciousness type thing where it just kept changing, and there was no thought with the earlier part of the song. It just kept changing. It was very different. And so I really liked writing that way. I find it hard to do that though, because I keep wanting to incorporate stuff from the beginning into later in the song. But it's pretty liberating not to have to worry about that. You just make a different riff and you keep them really short, and you just keep making different riffs. And the song ends up working out very well in terms of, like, for this type of music, at least. It ends up working out really well. So that's what I had to say there. And so the beginning of the song, IP 45, is really it's sort of very out there. It changes a lot, and I don't know what the word is, but it doesn't necessarily flow very well because it keeps changing, and the tempos change. But then it starts to become a little more normal after, like, the intro part. I don't know how long the intro part is, but the intro part was quite difficult to play as well. I really like this song though. The beginning part is just so, I'm really proud of that. Because even though it sounds like it doesn't flow, once you get it down and once you get the timing down, it feels really satisfying to play it on guitar, at least. And it's really hard to play it too, because the changing tempos as well. So it's hard to time it out perfectly. We're just going to listen to to the beginning part, and I will motion when the intro part ends. So this part is more normal. It's more normal. So yeah, very much enjoy that song. Okay, so what are we doing now? We'll do the tabs, and then we'll do the live video. Yeah, because we have to, right? All right, so let's go to music. What is this album called? This is Implanted Perceptions. Right, here's the live video right here. Now we're going to go here. So what is it? 23, IP23, IP04. 23 is first, right? 23, 4, and 45. Okay, so 23 is first. So this was the 23rd song I wrote. I wrote this on June the 25th, 2022. So almost 3 years ago. Yeah, with the piano, I feel like you're able to appreciate the melody more, because when I recorded with guitars, with the distorted guitars, sometimes the melody can get hidden. That's what I was trying to say with the next song, where you couldn't really distinguish the like the melody, which is IPO4. So this is the fourth song that I wrote. This was June the 1st, so like 3 days after I started writing the album. And next, I believe, is the 45th. So this is one of the last ones. There were only 48 tracks. And this was on August the 9th. So when did I start this? I think like this grouping of songs, I believe it was 43. No, it's not 43. It's 44. So 44 was the 8th, then the 9th, then the 10th, and then the 11th. So 46 and 47 I wrote on the same day. So I wrote this grouping of songs in 3 days, I guess. And so IP45, which is what we're about to listen to, this was written 2 days before I finished the album. So August 9th, finished it on August the 11th. All right, so let's go here. So this one is very all over the place. I wonder how many measures there are. Yeah, 32 measures. It's kind of a lot for a 40-second song. Now, one thing about PowerTab, it's a very old program. And sometimes when you have different time signatures and tempos, it'll like sort of stutter when it goes to the next measure. So if you hear a stutter, that's why. It's a bug in the program. It's not how it was written. So, and there's a lot of those in this song. Like every single measure is different. So there might be stutters, is what I'm trying to say. So, okay. All right, so where's that intro part that I was talking about? Yeah, so so it ends right here. So from measure 1 to measure 17, that's basically the intro that I was talking about, where it's all over the place. So we're just going to listen to it again. So try and pay attention to that. And once we hit 18, measure 18, it'll sort of be normal. Yeah, the song is very ridiculous, and I like it a lot. Very, very fun song. That's like the definition of fun. Okay, so with that being said, now we are going to watch the live video. So we have to do some scrolling to get to where we need to. Now I haven't played. I used to play this album every day on guitar, so I had the track list memorized, but I don't have it memorized anymore. So it might take a minute to figure out where we have to go. Not a minute, but all right. So let's go here. Come on. All right. So IP23 is the first one, and then IP04 is the second one. Those two songs are one after another. We just have to figure out where they are. Okay, well, that's IP04 right there. That was a lucky scroll. Okay, so it's about to start now. This is IP23. The intro part to this song is very fast. It's very fun to play, and then it goes into the alternate picking stuff on the high strings. But watch my picking hand, how, because I could never get, because I'm picking different strings, and the pattern's different, so I never got the pattern perfectly. I screwed up there. I think I played that song perfectly. All right, so now we've got to figure out what the next song is. It's about to happen in like 5 seconds. Okay, so for this second, the intro part, remember the intro part that I've been talking about? I didn't play it in perfect timing. So I was a little laggy on one part, but then I caught up. I don't know if you're going to be able to notice, but it wasn't perfect is what I'm trying to say. In general, I played the song very well. And this grouping of songs that I was talking about, where they're like the stream of consciousness songwriting, it's near the end of the album. And those songs were really annoying to memorize because they keep changing and there's no repeating riffs really. And the riffs are so short. And on top of that, they appear at the end of the album. So I'm doing this video and I've got to play the hardest songs at the end of the video, which you'd rather do it at the beginning so that you can get it out of the way and then you have easier songs to play later. But no. I love those. I love the rests. I do a palm mute and then I stop and everything stops. I really like that. And it's very tight too. So that's how you know, like if you're listening to the song and you're like, he's not even, that's not music. You're not even, there's no tempo. You're not even doing anything. And then you realize, oh, all the instruments stopped at the same time. Okay. They actually know what they're doing. Because how else would you do that if you didn't, if you weren't playing along together, right? Okay, so there you go. Those are the Implanted Perceptions songs. That, I feel like that took a while. We're over 20 minutes, right? 20. Oh my God, 27 minutes. We've only done the first batch of songs. Good God. Okay, let's try and do this quick. Well, I guess we had a lot of stuff to do because we listened to the songs, we listened to the tabs, and we listened to the video. All right, so let's go to the next one. Closed. Good. And now we're doing Deep Contemplation and Dreaming About Guns. All right. So this is from Shapeshifter's Realm, another Cora Canyon album. We talked about this album in a recent Bandcamp Dailies episode. And I think we talked about Piercing Light and we talked about Weak and Old. And I had surmised, I guess, that someone was trying to tell me that I'm weak and old. I felt pretty good the past couple of days, though, after walking so much. So that was good. But now we have Dreaming About Guns and we have Deep Contemplation. So like I mentioned in the previous one, half of the songs feature Dave on drums and me on guitar. And the other half feature me on drums and Dave on guitar. And so initially we only listened to ones with Dave on drums and me on guitar. However, this one has one of each. So that's going to be interesting, I guess. All right. So, okay. So we're going to talk about this one first, Dreaming About Guns. This one, the title actually, like I came up with the titles, but Dreaming About Guns, this is something that Dave told me he does. He's had these dreams about guns. I don't think he's a school shooter or anything like that. Obviously he wasn't. He's not, But he told me he has these dreams about guns. And I've had dreams about guns as well, probably from like movies and TV and video games and stuff like that. But I was inspired by him. He told me this like when we were in high school or something. Probably, I think. Yeah, so a long time ago. And when I was trying to think of song titles, I was reminded about him telling me that. And so that's what that has to do with. So what else did I write? Okay, the next stuff I wrote is for the next song. All right, so let's listen to Dreaming About Guns. I'm pretty sure I really like this song. Yeah, so the thing about this, Dave brought his echo pedal over, and this was my first time using the echo pedal. Once again, I'm on guitar, Dave's on drums. This was all improvised. There was absolutely no preparation. We were just jamming, and my first time using the echo pedal, I absolutely loved it. I bought one for myself, and I used it on multiple albums since then. All right, so that one had harmonics, natural harmonics, along with the echo pedal. Very much enjoy that. And then Dave's drumming, he was sort of doing a crescendo type of thing with a climax. That was pretty cool. And then we're going down. So Deep Contemplation, this is Dave on guitar, me on drums. All right, and I have a treat. I have an absolute treat. It's kind of funny that someone listened to this song because there's a story behind this song with part of this song. So I'm just going to replay a little part and listen to the drum beat. Okay, so that drum beat, that actually appeared earlier on. So this album's from 2016. And that drum beat that I played there appeared on one of our earlier songs. Early songs, I think is what I was trying to say here. And it's for like, so for my 30th birthday in 2012, Dave and our friend Jordan came out to the house, and we jammed. We had a huge long jam session, hours long jam session, sort of like back in the day when we were in high school, and shortly after high school when we would just, all get together and smoke weed and then just jam. And so that's what we did this time too. And it was a lot of fun. I actually posted videos on my YouTube channel, live videos from that session, a whole bunch of videos. But none of the music was actually released. So this was sort of just all for us. Well, it was released on my YouTube page, but and then there was even more of it that never got videotaped. I wanted to videotape everything, but after the first, I don't know, a couple hours, they were like, they didn't want to be videotaped anymore. And so the last couple hours were not videotaped. And so the drum beat I was talking about appears in one of the later songs. And we're going to listen to that song. Okay, so this one, for the thing I was talking about, my 30th birthday where we were jamming, it was all improvised, and everyone we all switched instruments. Everyone played every instrument. So there were guitars, there was drums, and then there was keyboards as well. And there was also vocals. I didn't do vocals, but Dave and Jordan did. All right, so where are we going here? Let's go here. So here's right here. These are the tracks.
Yes.
So this song is called Peanut Butter Lover. So this is completely improvised on all of the instruments, including the vocals.
Why are you soft? What the fuck? Yo, we're in the loft, jamming, fucking cramming, like it's a test. Tomorrow we got our exams, I got plans. I'm gonna have you in the palm of my hand. Yo, we got drum heads. We're gonna hit the skins and get deep in, cause it's time for sin, like we're going to hell. But I rang the bell, you can't tell, cause it's too quiet. This shit ain't lying.
This drum beat right here, this is what I'm talking about. This, the drum beat from the song we listened to is this drum beat here.
It's like a lion in the forest fucking dying, yeah. Oh my god, I'm on a fucking roll, like I'm fucking strolling, yeah. Kids in the stroller, I'm a motherfucking 5'10" bowler.
I love that line. He says he's a 5-pin bowler. Oh my god, that was hilarious.
I'm the champion, motherfucker. I'm the motherfucking champ. Yeah. Kids in the stroller. I'm a motherfucking 5'10" bowler. I'm the champion, motherfucker. I'm the motherfucking champ. Back up, yo. This shit's whack. Shit's like crack, only I don't have no snacks. Oh, I need some peanut butter. I need to find another peanut butter lover. Yeah, I need to find some more peanut butter. Put on my toast and jam. I need to find.
I love that song. Oh my god, that's a good song. All right, so I think we got through the Cora Canyon. I mean, I think that also counts as Cora Canyon because it was Dave and I and our friend Jordan. So, all right, so what is next? Oh, okay, let's close this. We have Repressed Memory Games. All right, so this is the title track from this album. I did not draw this, by the way. Normally I do all my artwork, but this was drawn by some guy on Metal Archives. It's a pretty cool, it's cool artwork. And repressed memory games. Okay. Oh, so we have repressed memory games, and we also have the effects of childbirth, right? Repressed memory games and the effects of childbirth. Yes. So for some reason I have repressed memory games first. So we'll do that first. I forgot that they're on the same album. How stupid am I? So repressed memory games, the title track of this album. Now we talked about, so these 3 songs here, the last 3 songs in this album, they were originally written on they came from the Plato EP that we talked about in a recent Bandcamp Daily. And so those were originally written for Chord Canning, but then Dave didn't learn them. And so I recorded them myself back in 2011. I wrote them in 2010 and recorded in 2011. And then this was released in 2016. So I decided, because those original songs from the Plato EP, originally they had a really bad drum sound, horrible drum sound. And so I wanted to re-record them because the songs were very complicated, and I did like them, but I also wanted to sort of change the mood of the songs as well. I made the drumming more aggressive. Also, the guitars were slightly more aggressive with a little bit more distortion. And so these have a different feel than the original songs on the Plato EP. Repressed Memory Games and Vain Descriptions, these are different titles, but they do reference songs from the original Plato EP. The Repressed Memory Games is I Put Plato in Your Pocket. That's the song we talked about in the previous Bandcamp Daily. So we've listened to the song already. You may have noticed it's 7:45. That's how long it is in the previous one as well, because I used the exact same, I tabbed this out in Power Tab, and I used the exact same tab when I recorded this song. So when I record the drums first, and I listen to the tab as I'm recording. It's got metronome clicks in it and all that. And so that's what I did for both of them. So we're going to listen to Repressed Memory Games. What else? Yeah, another difference with this one is it has keyboards. So original Plato one did not have keyboards. There's specifically one spot in this song that I think is really awesome. Unfortunately, it's very, very short, but it does have keyboards, and the keyboards really make it. So we're going to re-listen to that part a couple times once it appears. So I don't know if you're going to recognize this song, but this is Repressed Memory Games, also known as I Put Plato in Your Pocket. And it's also, this recording is much tighter than the original one from 2011. There's one spot in the middle where I made some pretty bad mistakes on the original one. This one, I don't remember if I don't think it's definitely a lot cleaner than in the original version. This version is definitely a lot cleaner is what I'm trying to say. This part originally was very, very mellow in the original song, but now it's got blast beats. The guitars are still quite mellow, and it's also got some nice keyboards. And now the guitars turned distorted. I forgot about that. I really like the synths for that section. Those ended up really well. Some of the synths I wasn't happy with how they turned out because the melodies on the guitars, they're sort of, I don't know, they're sort of strange. And so it was hard for me to write keyboards that sort of fit with them. But this one ended up working well, this little section of song. Okay, so the song changes a lot of different parts. And like I mentioned in the previous song, just like with that song, this was recorded in a full take, no overdubs or punch-ins or anything like that. So I had to practice it a lot, make sure I got it down, though I had already practiced it years prior. So I already knew the song, and I just ended up getting it down even further. And also what I mentioned in the previous video, the tone of the guitar changes. So it's sort of, sometimes it's clean, sometimes it's distorted, but that was all controlled with my picking hand. So depending on if it's distorted, I'm playing very hard. And if it's clean, I'm playing softly. And so I'm only using one guitar tone. I'm not using a pedal or anything like that. I'm controlling it all with my picking hand. Okay, so this part was the really sloppy one on the original song. So I don't remember how well I play it on this one. I don't listen to this album very often at all. It's funny, that wasn't perfect either, but it was definitely better than the original one. This is a hard section to play, for me at least. I still screwed it up. What the hell, man? Come on. That was definitely better than the original one, but still, I guess I couldn't get that perfectly. Oh, the really good part is coming up. Like, can I just play that for like 10 more times? Why is it so short? Well, it's because the original song, it was like that in the original song. But then I added, the keyboards just ended up working out perfectly for that song. For this part, I mean. And unfortunately, it's so short, because that's by far my favorite part of the song now. A lot more blast beats in this song. In the original song, I had mentioned that that all of my songs have a blast beat. Virtually every single song I've ever recorded has a blast beat in it. And the original version of this song almost wasn't one of those. And so it's very rare where one of my songs does not have a blast beat. And there was a blast beat in the original song, but it was very brief. This one has many more blast beats. I don't like the combination of this keyboards with the guitar riff. I feel like I made a mistake in how I wrote them. It doesn't fit. It feels like it sounds incorrect. So I'm not. This is one of those times where I'm not happy with how the keyboards sound. Because it changes how I thought, like it changes the melody of the song, and so now it doesn't sound like how I think it should sound. Very nice interplay with the instruments in this section. I just realized I had the volume up too high on my computer. So I hope it didn't influence the microphone. Hopefully not. No. I don't think that matters anymore because I don't have the ducker compressor going on. Yeah, so it would just add noise. It wouldn't actually lower the level of the desktop of the audio. Okay, that's just me being stupid. Anyway. There is Repressed Memory Games. Now we're going to listen to The Effects of Childbirth. Okay, we're not going to actually listen to it, though. We are going to watch it because what did I do? I recorded myself. I videotaped myself recording this song. And so we're going to watch the video. Now, one thing, though. Tracks one. Oh, okay. So, yeah, tracks. So, The Effects of Childbirth, this was written and recorded in 2014. Whereas these last three songs, what did it say? Track 3 and 5 were written in 2010. Yes. Drums recorded. Oh, right. Okay. And so I recorded the drums for these songs in 2014 as well. But then the guitars and the keyboards were recorded in 2016. And then this album was released. Okay. This all makes sense. So The Effects of Childbirth. I have my thing open here. So let's go to videos. So it's one of my most popular videos, actually. I feel like I don't know what number it is, but so where is it? It's pretty soon. Here it is right here. Okay, so let's count. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5 times 3 is 15, 16, 17, 18. I guess I could have just done 6. So it's number 18 on my top video, my most popular videos list. So that's pretty good considering I have 1.6 thousand videos. It's kind of funny. I publish 5 videos a day, I think. I don't know how long it's going to take, but we're eventually going to catch up to my subscriber count. The video count is going to catch up to my subscriber count. So that's kind of funny. Did we miss it? Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going to do the little trick here. Going to go to copy link, open a new tab, paste it, and let's add the hyphen, and then that way we'll be able to watch it. Just have to reload the page. All right, so this is it's not one of my first split screen videos, but this was recorded in the back room there. In 2014, it must have been recorded. So this is, it was a little chunky back in these days. Had some pretty gross facial hair going. I had more stuff to say. Yeah, so I recorded this video, and then I don't know how long after this, maybe a year or two, I guess. I started, I was trying to earn some extra money by doing some session drumming. And so I posted an ad on Metal Archives, and I posted this video to try and entice people to hire me as their drummer. And so some people did. Generally, though, in general, I did not enjoy doing the session drumming. I had some bad experiences with people, but I also had some good experiences, but I feel like the bad experiences just made it bad. And so it's not something I would want to do again. I'll just say that. But I did have some good experiences. I mean, I could make an entire video on that if I really wanted to. So now we also, I don't usually do tapping riffs, but this song features a bunch of tapping riffs. So there's a lot of tapping in math rock. This song is sort of math rocky. And this is probably the song that has the most tapping that I've ever done before. So that's sort of noteworthy, I guess. I feel like the drums are too loud in this video. I'm pretty sure the mix is slightly different in the video compared with the uploaded song. So that's unfortunate. And it's also sort of unfortunate, you know, on YouTube, you can't edit your video, I feel like. Like you can't change the audio. You just have to upload a new video. So... You know, I forgot to mention for the tapping parts, you know, there were sections where I'm doing drum fills, and the fills are improvised. I talked about this before. Sometimes I will add improvised drumming along to written music, and this was one of those times. If I remember correctly, it happens again several more times in the song. Like sometimes when I'm doing fills, it's written like that. Other times, like for this section that we just listened to, it's improvised. I'm just sort of going along with the song structure and then trying to keep track. I don't remember what the lyrics are. I feel like there's more vocals in this than I remember. this part, this is another one of those parts where I'm improvising the drum fills. And then in between improvising, I hit on the same notes as the guitar to sort of emphasize. This part, I don't know if it's both guitars. There are two guitars on this album, on this song. One in the left channel, one in the right channel. But I only videotaped myself recording one of them, so I don't know which guitar it is. But one of them, this tapping riff that's about to happen, I didn't play it very well, and so it sounds bad. It sounds really sloppy. All right, there you have it. There you have it. There is the effects of childbirth, and we only have one song left, I believe. Now, this is from The Last Breath of the Dying. This is a really old one. So this one was listened to on the 15th, so 2 days ago. I think this was the day I left. So satirical irony, we've talked about that, and Behind the Walls of Madness, which is what we're going to be talking about. I forgot that someone listened to this when I was making my prep for this video. And so I was about to start recording, and then I realized, oh no, I forgot about this song. And so I had to sort of regroup. and try and remember. There is a little bit of a story towards this song, and so it didn't take very long. But Last Breath of the Dying, this is one of my, it was like my first full album when I was 18. Recorded it when I was 18. 2001, long time ago. That's what I'm looking at. I'm like, 2001? And so Behind the Walls of Madness is, we've done the first 3 songs. We've done videos on the first 3 songs. And now we're doing the first 4 songs. So Behind the Walls of Madness, I'll just cue it up. Are we 2 hours yet? We're only 1:11. Oh my God, that's insane. I thought this was going to be like a 2-hour video. I feel really good now, to be honest. Good. Because I don't want to make the videos too long because I feel like no one would want to watch them. I mean, I'm assuming no one wants to watch them anyway, but especially if they're like 2 hours long, who would want to watch that? I don't even want to watch that, and I'm my biggest fan. So, Behind the Walls of Madness, I do like the name. I don't know what it means, but I do like the name. I'm trying to think of the origins of when I wrote it. I don't really remember. The one thing I remember about this song, I played this song for my high school classical guitar exam. So back in those days, I've talked about this before, but at my old high school in the late 90s, you could take classical guitar. So in the music room, they had a whole bunch of classical guitars. Some of them were absolutely horrible, because the students were just bang them up. And so the frets were falling off, and it was just, some of the strings would be buzzing. And whereas with other guitars, they had a real mix of really good guitars, not really good, but guitars that had no problems and guitars that had a lot of problems. And so obviously I took that class because I did not like school. And so I figured that would be an easy credit because I played guitar. So how could I screw that up, right? And so I took the first class. I took it for 2 years. The first year, that's the one where we had to play Stairway to Heaven as the exam, the final exam, which was insane, by the way, because some of the people in the class had literally never played guitar before. And then you're not expected to play the song, to play Stairway to Heaven. You're just expected to try to do as good as you can. But still, it's kind of crazy to, start off people who haven't played guitar before, and then a couple months later, you have to try and play Stairway to Heaven with no pick. You have to do the finger picking. And so the second year, it was like the head music teacher was teaching the class. And so the first year, it was a younger girl. And she did not want you to use a pick. You always had to use your fingers. Whereas with this music teacher, like the big head honcho music teacher, he didn't care. And so that was nice. And so, as I mentioned, I didn't like going to school. And I skipped a bunch of school. Stay in school, kids. Don't be stupid like I did. However, so the teacher did not like me, obviously, because I didn't go to his class a lot. And I didn't do very good work in class. There's a lot of paperwork type stuff that I do not care at all about, like history of music or something. I don't even remember. That's how much I cared about it. All I wanted to do was play guitar. And so I go into the exam. And so for the exam, you're expected to, for part of it, you're expected to play someone else's music. And for the other part, you're expected to write something yourself and play that. And so I had written this album already. And so I chose this song to play because it has some clean guitar parts that would translate well to classical guitar. And then for the music by another band, I made a medley of riffs from this one band called Impaled that I liked. And I made the medley. I arranged the medley. That's what I'm trying to say. Arranged the medley. So I played that first for him, and I don't think he realized that I was actually like a good guitar player. And then I do that part, and then I go into my own song, and I'm trying to think. He actually had to stop me like halfway through because I was playing for too long, and he had other people to look at. But clearly, he realized that I could play guitar, and so he was going to pass me, even though he may not have liked me for not showing up to his class all that often. But okay, so I feel like I've told that story 100 times on this in these videos, but whatever. So there's a bit of an intro, a clean guitar intro. No, it is an acoustic intro. Yeah, I'm using my acoustic guitar on the song. I like the intro, and I like parts of the song. But then there are other parts that I do not like whatsoever. And then later in the song, there's a really cool section that combines electric guitars and acoustic guitars and the drums. Yeah, this part is all finger picked. Yeah, this part I do not like. And then there's the chorus, which I also don't like at all. But now, now that the tempo is bumped up, this stuff is pretty challenging to play. It's quite fast. But I was doing this for my exam, and I was playing this on. So I had my pick. I guess I did the intro with finger picking, obviously. Then I had my pick, and I started playing this. So I was playing this on the classical guitar. Like even this distorted part. That's the chorus. It's very, very fast. And I was doing that on the classical guitar. It's an absolutely horrible riff though. Like I'm embarrassed to have written this. Like it does absolutely nothing for me today. But I was probably even 17 when I wrote it. Okay, so now we have a nice little solo with with a nice little, so we have some good riffs coming up. I like the next riff. Next riff is acoustic guitar, and then there's a solo, a nice sad, melodic, heartfelt, passionate, dramatic solo over top. And then the part after that, the drums kick back in, and then it's heavy. It's a heavy riff, but then also the acoustic guitar is still playing, and that's probably the best part of the song. It's very good riff, very good section. So the lead up with the solo, and then the really good section after that. Insane blast beats here, by the way. The tempo is just, through the roof. And then the rest of the song is basically just garbage. It's absolute worthless piece of crap nonsense. It's not nonsense, but it's so stupid. We have dueling guitar solos, which is really dumb. And then it just plays the chorus riff at the end. So the thing I like about, so parts of the song are really good. Other parts are really bad. And that's pretty much how it goes with this album, because it's so old and I was so young when I made it. So, but with that being said, some of the parts do hold up, which is pretty good. Considering how, I don't know how many years later this is, 24 years later. Wow. So I guess that's something to be said about that. So I like the intro. And then the verse and the chorus are horrible. And then it goes into the solo, the passionate solo. And then it goes into the part we just listened to that had the acoustic guitar and the distorted guitar with the drums. And then now we're doing the dueling guitar solos, which is horrible. And then we're going back to the chorus at the very end, which is horrible as well. So it goes from good to bad to good to bad to horrible. But we have to listen to it. The guitar part, like underneath the solo, like the rhythm, what the rhythm guitars are doing, I like this riff. It's got the pinch harmonic. I like that. That's cool. Just get rid of the guitar solos. These guitar solos were improvised, and there are two bad notes, so that's one of the reasons I don't like them. But also the solos are just bad. However, at the very end, I try to redeem myself. The very end is very good. I hit a harmonic on one of the guitars, and then I hit a harmonic on the other guitar. The solo guitars I'm talking about, like the solos, and like the second guitar, the harmonic is like 1 fret down, and so there's some nice melodic dissonance going on there, and that's the only good thing about the solo, about the dueling guitar solos. Literally the only good thing. The only good thing about the solos. Oh God, what a garbage song. Oh my God. It had some really good parts though. I'll give it that. I'll give it that. Anyway, I think that's it for the video. Finally, are we under 130? We're at 127. Not bad. This might be the longest Bandcamp Daily. I don't know, but we did talk about a lot of songs. So yeah, that's going to be it. And like I mentioned, this is the outro part, I should say. Like I mentioned, I recorded a whole lot of video footage while I was out in Mississauga. And so I have to combine all the videos into a giant video. And it's basically, it's just vlog stuff. And then I'll post that. It's like 2 hours. Might even be longer than that. I don't know, but... And then I'll post it as soon as possible. So keep your eyes open for that. I don't know if you're going to watch it, but I'm going to rewatch parts of it because I literally videotaped myself eating everything I ate out there. And I ate some good food out there. So I'm going to reminisce about what I ate. And I also videotaped, spoiler alert, some of my midnight walking. So is that interesting? I don't know. Anyway, keep your eyes peeled.